All right, here's our Bitcoin update. Shout out to everyone. Good morning. Beautiful day to be alive. So grateful. Last night I took the family to the fireworks. We got home at like 11:30. I was exhausted and just passed out, man. But I put a little quick update. I was talking about the 15-minute. So let's break it down. The 15-minute got tight here. We talked about that it could pump up to the 200 SMA. I felt like the 15-minute was going to, and it came up here and almost hit it. We got the pullback. But then I put out this flag, if you remember, this flag here, and I talked about a possible pump, right? We almost got it, and then we kind of went up and down, and then I said, can we flip the 200 SMA? We did that last night, and now when you flip the 200 SMA, you usually get a little bit of a pump. So now you're on the other side of the 200 SMA, and you get a pump. So what do I see happening now? Well, there's a bunch of different things I'm going to show you right now that my brain is working on. And so let's take a look. Number one, this did have some descending triangle vibes, and somehow it broke out of it, which is very rare. All right, so that's a rare thing right off the bat. Number two, you could say you're in something like this, but look what I see. I see something different. Just get rid of my old work here. But congrats. I mean, we were short when we need to be. And then I saw, a long. And then this has that Adam and Eve double bottom feel that kind of did break out. Not amazing, but. So we had this weird divergence. The falling wedge broke on out. I'm going to get rid of the wedge now because I see something different. And I'm going to get rid of the moving averages just to keep things smooth. But if you've been part of the group, we've been pretty spot on with Bitcoin so far. So good, right? Number one, possible still a descending triangle, right? Just elongated. Number two, it broke out and it's in one. And number three, look, we're in a bigger ascending triangle. You see this here? Which when you're really bearish and coming into it, can be a very bearish pattern. Even though it can be bullish when you move up. But like when you come down into it, it can be a bearish pattern. So this is a 50-50 shot of either breaking back to where it began or breaking back out of here to the upside. These are our two basic ideas here. Yes, you either break down to 25.6 or you're breaking up to about 26.8, right? That's so. Remember that short there is still technically in the money too. Remember, the short that we opened there is still in the money, Rick. You don't really have to close it. I feel like you don't have to close a short because now look, you have a resistance. You have a local resistance right here at 26.262, 26. Yeah. So if you can't break above this line, expect more downside. You have a gap here in the VRVP, which suggests we could pump up to 26.458. We'll take a look at the liquidity on Bookmap, and then we'll also look at the bigger time frame. So the 4 hours very overbought. It recovered pretty good, but didn't give us a lot of love. Now everyone keeps saying it hasn't been this. The 4 hour hasn't been this oversold in a long time. But the last time we made a wick like this, we eventually did come for that wick. So I'm not saying we will for sure. So the 4 hours getting overbought, and we bounce like for the stochastics to go from the dotted line to the dotted line, and for us to only get like a chopped move like that, isn't pretty bullish to me personally. All right, it isn't pretty bullish to me. Another thing is the 21's coming closer to price, which means you're eventually going to hit it. So you flip this upside down, and you can see like this is like a flag, and then the flag would hit the 21. Like we might be doing something like this. Like, sorry, I don't want to make those. But the flag could hit the 21. We'll make some flag, you know what I mean, and then continue to pump to the upside. So it's giving me that vibe of when I'm trading long, and I see a continuation pattern. So the 4 hour doesn't look too good to me right now. It looks overbought, all right? And it's at a resistance. And it's not that far away from the 21, which tells me that, now the 1 hour has a little more momentum left. It's just coming to the dotted line. I have seen big pumps come from that. And I'll give you to you, this has somewhat of a shoulder, kind of a head, and a right shoulder vibe. We could get a nice breakout. So, am I long or short this morning? What do I see happening? Well, I do see that as an inverted. I do see the 1 hour breaking out of this fallen wedge that it literally has broken out of already, and it has a measured move to the upside. So, right now, you mean, interesting. But the 15 minutes very overbought with a bearish divvy on it. The 7 minute wants to make a move. All right. So, where do we stand again? 1 hour has a little momentum. 4 hours telling us it's a little overbought. The daily and the 22 are oversold, but more pain could come from that. You got a 4 hour bullish engulfing candle right now, which is a good sign, and you're above this, you're kind of entering this gap area. But like, you could almost say shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. You see that? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. I've seen that play out. I know how wacky it is. Trust me, the more TA you see, the more open you'll be to things that you just wouldn't be open to before. Now, major resistance, 25, 26, 192, 26, 200. Let's see the 1 hour. It's tricky today. Some mixed signals here because I don't want to, I want to say something if I don't see it correct. So, do we break up or down? I mean, the 15 minute broke above the 200 SMA. The 1 hour still pretty bearish, but again, the 1 hour will get that tightness and then pump up to the 200 SMA. That's that old story, right? Now, as long as the 15 can stay above the 200 SMA, we'll remain bullish. So, here's the deal. To me, it looks like we're going to kind of go tight in the zone and go a little sideways here. Let the 15-minute reset. 15-minute resets, we stay inside. Chance we just keep going sideways. The 7-minute is attempting to try to make a breakout right now, but it could just spurt and come back down. I mean, I'm seeing chop, sideways chop, low volume on a Sunday. So I don't know if the 7-minute will give us a huge move. We do see 26,300 on the book, on order book, on book map. So if we were to look at any liquidity, the only liquidity that we truly see is here at about, 26,300? Interesting enough, right? And then 26,000. So, we basically Bookmap's telling us that we'll get a spurt to the upside. And then, we have more liquidity up here at 26.8 and 26.6. We shrink it down, it's balanced on either end, but the closest and thickest order is right there at about 26,600. So it suggests that we kind of go there, which is weird, but that's, just that's what it says. The 15-minute is in somewhat corroboration with this because you're above the 200 SMA. And technically, this would be the length of this pole that you broke out of, right? And that takes you to about 26,500, right? Which is the same area that we're looking at. So hold your horses. There's a chance we get a short squeeze here through this gap in the VRVP up to these levels that we're seeing on Bookmap. I'm not loving the oscillators, but, so right now I would watch the 15. It's likely to reset. Maybe the one with the 7-minute gives us one little move. It's likely to reset and go sideways. And then when the 15-minute resets, maybe in 2 hours, there's a chance we get one more try to make this push pass through this resistance. If we end up tight and we don't break above this white line, chance this will break to the downside. So 2-3 hours from now, I'll be able to look at it and get another idea of what's happening. Right now, I do see sideways price action for the 15-minute inside the end of this angle. And then I'll update you in about 2.5 hours, 3 hours.